What you know, Alibis? Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. It's Saturday, March 8th. Hope you guys have a fun weekend planned. We're going to go through the 911 call that was made hours after Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and Maddie were killed. There is an argument attached to the transcript of this 911 call. So we're going to go through that and read how the state argued that this call should be let in at trial. It is coming in. And the reason we're getting some of this now is because the judge in the case was concerned at the lack of transparency to the public regarding the filings in this case. Let's read through the state's argument. It starts out with the statements on the 911 call are hearsay, but fall within firmly rooted hearsay exceptions and should be allowed. In general, testimony that is hearsay is excludable at trial. However, there are many exceptions to this rule. Two firmly rooted exceptions are Idaho Rule of Evidence 8031, which is present sense impression, a statement describing or explaining an event or condition made while or immediately after the declarant perceived it. And also Idaho Rule of Evidence 8032, which is excited utterance, a statement relating to a startling event or condition made while the declarant was under the stress of the excitement that it caused. The requirements of the federal version of each of these rules are best stated in U.S. versus Mitchell. There are three principal requirements which must be met before hearsay evidence can be admitted as a present sense impression. 1, the declarant must have personally perceived the event described. 2, the declaration must be an explanation or description of the event rather than a narration. And 3, the declaration and the event described must be contemporaneous. The requirements for a hearsay statement to constitute an excited utterance are 1, a startling occasion, 2, a statement relating to the circumstances of the startling occasion, 3, a declarant who appears to have had opportunity to observe personally the events, and 4, a statement made before there has been time to reflect and fabricate. In Idaho, the Court of Appeals viewed the requirements for excited utterance as follows. To fall within the excited utterance exception, an out-of-court statement must meet 2 requirements. First, there must be a startling event that renders inoperative the normal reflective process of the observer. And 2, the declarant's statement must be a spontaneous reaction to that event rather than the result of reflective thought. Whether a statement falls within the excited utterance exception is left to the sound discretion of the trial court. In ruling on the admissibility of a statement under the excited utterance exception of the trial court considers the totality of circumstances surrounding the statement. The circumstances to be considered include the amount of time that elapsed between the startling event and the statement, the nature of the condition or event, the age and condition of the declarant, the presence or absence of self-interest, and whether the statement was volunteered or made in response to a question. In the filing, they have different letters and initials that correspond with each person that was heard on the 911 call. And in the filing, it says that HJ located the unresponsive body of Xana and notified BF and DM to call 911. EA was present at the time. All declarants personally perceived the event, which is Xana unresponsive. The majority of the declaration were describing to dispatch what they were perceiving. Those statements relate to Xana being passed out and not waking up. The declarations were made immediately after HJ discovered the body. Some declarations made would also be considered excited utterances. These statements include, and they saw some man in their house last night, as well as the heaving, breathing, and crying that can be heard throughout the call. The declarants were responding to a startling occasion, the discovery of an unresponsive roommate. The statement regarding a person being in the home is in direct response to why Xana might be passed out. All statements are made while the declarants are processing what is happening and were made before an opportunity to reflect and fabricate why Xana is unconscious. Clearly, the statements of BF, DM, EA and HJ and the dispatcher fall within the hearsay rule exceptions. They go over Judge's ruling that even if the 911 call is hearsay, the exceptions for present sense impression and excited utterance apply as the statements made by the callers. The surviving roommates, HJ, and another friend who had arrived were immediately made after HJ discovered Xana's body and instructed the roommates to call 911. The rationale justifying the present sense impression exception is the immediacy of the statement offers no opportunity for fabrication. Statements made were excited utterance because the victim was still under the stress of the event. They refer to a filing sealed order denying motion to dismiss indictment on grounds of biased grand jury, inadmissible evidence, lack of sufficient evidence, and prosecutor misconduct. Regarding the emotion in the caller's voice, Judge further held the evidence was relative as to why law enforcement was sent to 1122 King Road on November 13th, 2022, as opposed to just EMS when the call was for an unconscious individual. This testimony was deemed relevant to the effect it had on the dispatcher and was not cumulative of the officer's testimony. The next section is the statements made on the 911 call are admissible regardless of whether or not witnesses testify. The prosecution ends their filing by saying the clause does not bar admission of a statement so long as the declarant is present at trial to defend or explain it. So let's read the transcript of this 911 call. There are 8 different people aside from the dispatcher who are named on this call as being a part of it. Dispatch 911, location of your emergency. A woman says, "Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what. We have." Dispatch, what's the address of the emergency? The woman says 1122. No, don't. Dispatch, what's the rest of the address? The woman, oh, Kings Road. Dispatch, okay. And is that a house or apartment? The woman, it's a house. Dispatch, can you repeat the address to make sure I have it right? At this point, the woman hands the phone off to another woman who says, I'll talk to you guys. We live at the right, so we're next to them. Dispatch, I need someone to repeat the address for verification, and the woman does. They also ask the phone number that they're calling from. Dispatch, okay, and tell me exactly what's going on. The woman says, one of the roommates who's passed out, she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. The first woman says, no, we saw. Dispatch, okay. The second woman, oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. The first woman gets back on the phone and says, hi. Dispatch asks, are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around. The first woman, can I just tell you what happened pretty much? Dispatch, what's going on currently is someone passed out right now. The woman says, I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m. Dispatch, okay, I need to know what's going on right now. If someone is passed out, can you find that out? The woman says, yeah, I'll come. Come on, we got to go check, but we have to. Is she passed out? She's passed out. What's wrong? Dispatch says, dispatching Moscow Law Ambulance 4, and the woman says she's not waking up. Dispatch continues, unconsciousness, 1122 King Road. Someone responds to dispatch and says 70 is en route. Dispatch, okay, one moment, I'm getting help started that way. The woman says, okay, maybe. Dispatch is repeating the address. All ambulances respond for unconsciousness, and someone says they copy. Dispatch still talking to the units. Multiple RPs on the phone advised, saying the roommate on scene is passed out and not waking up. Believe she got drunk last night and something about a male being in the room with them. That one I copy about 20-year-old female unconscious trying to get further. At this point, a man is handed the phone and is asked, okay, how old is she? The first woman says she's 20. Dispatch, 20 you said? The woman, yes, 20. Here, do you want to talk to them? Dispatch, okay. The man is back on the phone. Hello? Hello? Dispatch, okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people. The man says, okay, sorry. They just gave me the phone. Dispatch, is she breathing? The man says, hello. Dispatch, is she breathing? The man says, no. The man tells the two roommates, I need you to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them. The first woman is back on the phone. Hello? Dispatch says, I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Units responding, RPs advising, the patient is not conscious, not breathing. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. The first woman says, we don't have one. I think here dispatch asks maybe the unit that's en route, do you have a defibrillator? And a man says, yes. The first woman says, yes, we have one. Dispatch, but are you talking to the officer? The woman says, yes. Dispatch, okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you. The woman says, okay, thank you, bye. Dispatch, okay. A first responder says, Moscow 46 out. Dispatch, copy. And then another man says, I think we have a homicide. Another man says, Moscow engine 20 is en route. There's a couple of things said back and forth between dispatch and first responders. It's all numbers for their codes. And that was the end of it, but very confusing, obviously, for dispatch. My perception of this 911 call is that the man was the one who actually went into the house and saw something that led him to believe Xana is not breathing. A lot of people have said, how did you not see the blood? How did you not know this was a homicide? This is a hypothetical, but it could be that the door was shut or locked and he just peeked underneath that door and saw enough to know Xana's on the floor. She's not responding. Did he see a lot of blood and maybe just went into shock after that? We don't know, but no doubt this witness will testify at trial and will walk the jury through each step he made in that house. And then we will know exactly what he saw. That is it for now. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day and we will see you soon.